All right, so today we're diving into something that might seem basic on the surface, but it's really the bedrock of everything else you do in SAP S/4HANA.
It really is.
We're talking about getting that initial material inventory set up right from the get-go.
Yeah.
We've got some good info on this process, and what we really want to do is unpack it
Yeah.
in a way that makes it super clear and hopefully even a little bit fun.
Right.
Because who doesn't love inventory, right?
Actually, yeah.
So, when we talk about initial stock entry, what are we really talking about here?
So it's really all about creating a snapshot of what you have on hand right at the start.
Okay.
Could be when you're first going live with S/4HANA, or maybe you're bringing in a whole bunch of new materials for a new project.
Right.
Whatever the case,
Right.
you absolutely have to get those starting quantities right.
And why is it so important?
Well, think about it like this.
Okay.
Everything else in your inventory management system flows from that initial picture.
Makes sense.
Your warehouse operations, your stock valuations, even things like cost of goods sold calculations. They
Right.
all depend on having a solid foundation.
Okay. So we're laying the groundwork here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the main tool in S/4HANA that we use for this?
The star of the show is the Managed Stock Fiori app. It's F1062,
Okay.
specifically designed for inventory managers.
Gotcha.
And it's where you'll spend a lot of time setting up that initial inventory picture.
Awesome. So let's walk through it like we're actually doing it.
Let's do it.
Step by step.
Okay.
First things first, we log into the SAP Fiori Launchpad, right?
Of course, got to have those inventory manager credentials.
Yeah, standard stuff.
Right.
Okay, so we find the managed stock act.
That's our command center for this process.
Okay, and then what?
So then you need to tell the system exactly what you're working with.
Okay,
So you specify the material. First, that's the actual item we're talking about.
right.
And then the plant where that material is located.
Makes sense. So we're basically telling the system what and where.
Exactly, pinpointing it in the system.
Okay, then it gets even more specific, right?
Yeah, so you also need to choose the storage location.
Okay.
Think of that as like a particular section or bin within
Yeah.
the plant.
Right.
And then you pick the stock type. So is it unrestricted? Is it blocked? Is it, quality inspection? Things like that.
Okay, so now we've told the system what, where, and what state it's in.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, I remember you mentioned something super important about a specific reason code.
Oh, yeah, this is crucial.
Yeah.
In the dialog box, you have to select initial entry as the reason for the stock change,
And why is that so critical?
because that's how the system knows this isn't just a regular stock movement.
Okay.
Like if you receive something from a supplier or send something out for production,
Right.
this is different. It's the very first time this material is being recorded in your system.
So it's like a special flag that says, hey, this is the starting point.
Exactly. And if you forget to do that, it can really mess things up down the line.
How so?
Your cost of goods sold calculations could be offline. Your inventory history won't be accurate.
Wow. Okay, so that little drop down is super important.
Absolutely don't skip it.
Okay, so we've got the right reason code. What's next?
The basics, the document date, the posting date, and the exact quantity you're adding.
Right, so making sure those numbers are spot on.
Exactly. You want a clear and accurate record.
Okay, and then we're done, right? We just hit post.
Pretty much. And the system will give you a confirmation message with a special number,
Okay.
the material document number.
And what's that for?
That's your proof that you did this.
Okay,
Your auditable record, it's like a receipt for this initial stock entry.
gotcha. So if we ever need to go back and check, we've got that number.
Exactly. It's super helpful for audits or if any discrepancies pop up later on.
So for anyone listening who's new to S/4HANA or maybe just setting up their inventory for the first time,
Yeah,
this is mission critical stuff.
it really is.
Getting this initial inventory right can save so much trouble down the road.
And headaches, believe me.
Exactly. Nobody wants to deal with inventory discrepancies and valuation errors.
No way.
And that's why this Managed Stock Fiori app is so valuable.
It's really designed to make this process as straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
It guides you through each step and helps you lay a really strong foundation for your inventory management.
So to wrap things up, the key takeaway here is